Let's hope it doesn't do the thing. The thing, not the thing. And welcome back to the Rent Suit Podcast, the only podcast that tells you to pay your rent. He's Eric and I'm Owen. What are we talking about today?
Dude, what happened to movies? What happened
to movies?
Blockbuster movies?
Yes.
What happened to comedy movies? What happened to action movies? What's going on? And before we get started, we just got to say, if you enjoy our content, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. We are trying to upload our weekly videos, and we do daily shorts. We have not missed a day. Owen has not missed a day in 2.5 years?
Since January 1st, 2023. Not missed a day.
Almost 2 years. Hasn't missed a single day. That's awesome. So big props to Owen. So smash that subscribe button, smash that like, and if you have an idea that you want us to try, leave a comment below. We'll take a look at it, and we'd love to run with it. So Owen, let's dive into this, dude.
And we should say we're talking about, Eric said in the intro a little bit, Hollywood movies. We're going to talk about indie movies.
Big blockbuster movies.
There's a lot of creativity there, just movies and Hollywood movies. So yeah, it's it's been rough, man. I think the biggest thing to talk about with this is the idea, and this honestly could go for multiple forms of media, not just movies, but the idea of sequels or remakes or redos or reboots or just
everything's just got to be something else. It can't be its own thing.
Let's take this already existing idea or franchise and let's do it again. And it's just I don't know. Like, I'm cool if it's a continuation of something. Like sequels, I think I'm okay with because I know I haven't seen it. But like something like Dune 2, I know a lot of people really liked.
That's again, that I think that we can separate that from something like what the MCU's doing, where it's just like the movies themselves aren't anything. They're just
I can't stand what the MCU is doing.
They're just a lead up to the next movie. It's like this is just getting you ready for the next one, and this one's just getting you ready for the next one.
It's like you're watching a big, really long TV show, and there's no payoff. There's nothing that pays off, and it's affecting every single form of or every single genre of movie in Hollywood. And I mean, you can go down a list of a lot of them, but
while we're on the topic of the MCU thing here, like, when was the last time? I feel like every time an MCU trailer comes out, you and me and like a bunch of people that used to be fans of the MCU are always like,
we got hyped.
Hey, maybe this one will be a little bit better.
When was the last time? This is an audience question, and as well as you too. When was the last time you got hyped for an MCU movie? That you saw the trailer and you were like, dude, this is going to be sick. And I think mine was probably Guardians 3.
Well, Guardians 3, that one paid off, though. That one was good.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that was good. But last time I was like...
it would be Thor. It would be Thor probably for me as well. I haven't seen a movie, a MCU movie since Guardians, but since Thor after that. Before that, I guess. Or wait, when did Spider-Man come out?
It came out before Thor.
Okay, I couldn't remember, but that one was like a sort of kind of payoff. But no, I mean, the point being is you had Thor, everybody was super excited for that. You had Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, everybody was excited for that. Dude, there was so much hype building around that movie, and it just didn't pay off.
There's no payoff.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like not even just that. Like, what about those like the Godzilla King Kong movies, dude?
Yeah, I mean, just stringing it along now.
There's no storyline. Nobody cares about the actual characters.
Yeah.
The only thing they use those movies for is just to like flex some special effects, which really aren't even that great. Like,
they're fine.
The whole thing, everything is just like, we haven't tried this in a couple years. Let's try it. Oh, it worked. Let's try it again. And then we just keep, perpetuating that cycle as long as it brings in money. But I don't ever leave the theater satisfied.
There is no creativity. I shouldn't say there's no, because there's been, like I said, a couple examples of some shining movies, some movies that I was like, yeah, I really like that. But honestly, I can't even tell you the last time I've been to the movie theater. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, exactly. I can't either. I went to see Spider-Verse. I think that was the last movie I watched in theaters. That was like over a year ago.
I think the last time I've seen something in theaters was Guardians 3, actually. And again, that might just be me because I'm not, a huge film guy. I like watching movies, but it's just like, now it's like I'll go back and watch older movies that I really enjoy.
Exactly, because those ones have the heart to them.
Yeah, and movies like I grew up not really watching a lot of movies, but I've been going back here recently, and I've been watching movies I really enjoy, or movies that people are like, oh yeah, you would really like this, or stuff like that. And I've been finding some great movies.
Yeah, and it's like we both agree on this. The last great original blockbuster movie was Bullet Train.
Fantastic
that was a
movie.
Top-notch movie. Great movie. Great creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Great storyline. It was funny. It was action-packed.
And I love that they got some pretty big actors for it, and they were like in it. They were consistently good.
And
all
they
that
had
sort of
some smaller names in there as well.
Yeah,
which kind of
mix.
added a nice layer. This is another thing we were talking about. Hollywood's deciding to make movies in order to make money. We'll just slam whatever names we can into it.
Mm-hmm.
One is this Red One movie that's coming out. Apparently it's awful, but it's got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, J.K. Simmons, and Chris Evans in it, and then many more. But like, let's take it back even a little bit further to I mean, every time I think about this, it's such a stupid idea. Is the Mario movie. The cast of the Mario movie, dude. Like, it was funny to have Jack Black in it, but like, that's not Bowser. Like, Chris Pratt's not Mario. Why didn't we not just get Mario to be Mario?
To go on the other side of the coin here is honestly a movie that people. This can go a multi different layers, but the Sonic movie, Sonic 3, people are so hyped for that. It's a sequel, but it's also like you have big name actors. You have Keanu Reeves in it, and he's actually like so into it. And he's doing the part. Research. He understands the character of Shadow, and that goes along with Idris Elba as Knuckles, and having
they understand it. They're putting in the work.
They know. Like, and then
every time we slap Chris Pratt on something, dude, like he just does Chris Pratt. Like he did. What was there a Garfield movie that came out this year? And Garfield just sounded like Chris Pratt.
The Mario movie was. For me, it was kind of a disappointment, and I think it's just because of the acting direction.
Seth Rogen,
it just didn't feel like a product. I don't know. It just didn't feel like a Mario product. It just felt like, oh, this is like. It feels like Mario. It doesn't look like Mario.
Yeah, we can't.
Or other way around. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Other way around.
We can't just throw names at something and expect. Like, obviously, it made money. Both those movies I was talking about actually made money, but like, money. and they're doing Mario. They're doing Mario 2, because it made money. They're like, all right, let's try it again. And I'm guessing and guaranteeing that they're not going to put any more effort into this than they did the last one.
See, and that's what bothers me about sequel movie, because I got two examples here. I'm gonna go back to the Sonic thing here, but I got another movie example that I think would be good. I don't like when sequels are fine. I'm not mad with sequels because it's like, this thing was really good. You want to do it again, fine, but put an effort to make it better or different. And I think both. I think the Sonic 2 movie was an improvement over the Sonic 1 movie. There's a little bit of weird stuff in there, cringy humor, but I definitely think Sonic 3 is going to be an improvement over 1 and 2, just the way it's going. And that's we were talking about that. But the other one is Top Gun to Top Gun Maverick. I think
that's a legacy movie done right.
Yes, it is a fantastic sequel. It is, in my opinion, better than Top Gun 1. It's probably one of my, probably my top 15 movies, I would say. It's a great movie. And, it's really, there's great acting, great visuals, all that sort of stuff. And it feels like a natural, progression. And it's not just like, oh, hey, we just wanted to do this again to make money. No, we want to do this again because we have another story to tell.
Yeah, I agree. And another thing it's a big thing that we talk about is what happened to comedy movies.
Oh, dude, they're gone, non-existent.
When was the last time? And I'm again not talking indie movies. There's great indie movies out there. That's majority of what I end up watching, because I feel like that's the stuff that still has the art and the heart.
Yeah.
But not an action comedy movie, just a straight up comedy movie. Talladega Nights, Hot Rod, Grown Ups,
Waterboy,
go back even further,
Happy
Waterboy,
Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, Wayne's World, Tommy Boy,
Napoleon
Dumb and Dumber, Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
Where are these comedy movies? Where'd they go?
And the thing is that I
even
guarantee
Adam Sandler's making serious movies now.
You can make the argument of people don't eat that up anymore because it's not the 2000s or 80s or 90s, and I'm like, I don't think that's the case. I think there's a huge audience for these movies. You think about how many people and maybe this is just with my, with our generation or our people our age, but like in high school, how many people talked about Step Brothers?
Yeah, everybody did.
Everybody talked about that movie. It's a funny movie, very funny movie. Not my favorite comedy, but it's a very funny movie. Movie. I said that weird,
dude. Grown-ups shaped like how we want to be friends when we grow up.
Yeah,
like our generation, we all want to do like the grown-ups. Like we want to just be hanging out with the buddies, doing the stuff we grew up doing. Like it's so like we can feel that on a personal level. And this is the other argument that people make is like, well, a lot of comedy movies were offensive and we don't want to be offensive. There were so many comedy movies that weren't offensive.
There's a lot of comedy movies
you don't have to be
kids.
Offensive to be funny. Like Napoleon
Dynamite wasn't offensive.
Nacho Libre. I guess you kind of go on Nacho Libre like Jack playing in space.
But
either way, it's funny. Nobody had a problem with that.
Mall Cop and both Mall Cops. And
Kevin James Dynamite. Movies in the early 2010s, they were all kids movies. They were all PG family movies, and they were all hilarious. Here Comes the Boom, Zookeeper.
Yep.
We already mentioned Paul Blart. Like those are good movies. They're funny.
You don't have to be offensive to be funny. You really don't.
No, you don't.
And
leave that to South Park.
Yeah, leave that to South Park. And even sometimes they can be. Well, no, they're always offensive. But it's just. I don't know if it's just like creativity. Nobody can come up with jokes, or if they just don't.
Which is not true. We have some great comedians. There are some absolutely incredible comedians going around right now.
I think there's two things. I think number one is that all these movies still there's some sort of influence, and I don't think it's the superhero. I think the superhero genre has a little bit to do with it, not completely, but the serious direction is that, hey, we can have a movie that's serious, but we can also incorporate jokes into it. But these jokes and some of these serious movies are just like corny, not well thought out, and it's just like, why did you even put it in? It's like most of the MCU jokes. It's the he's right behind me, isn't he? Type of meme. It's like, an MCU meme.
It's bad writing.
Like, that's why terrible writing.
This is another movie that, obviously it's a remake, but I think this is one that's done so well. There's a lot of things about this movie that are things I would typically have a problem with if it wasn't done as well as it was in this movie. And that's the Batman. There was no jokes in the Batman.
No.
There wasn't a single attempt at a jokes. It was all serious. And normally I would have a problem because people try to make movies, it's so gritty and realistic. But like, they did it right. Like it actually felt.
It's because the story is engaging the entire time, and it felt real. And it's like you engage in the story. Really good. And if Batman just turned to you and cracked a joke, you would be out of it. You'd be out of the experience. You'd be like, I don't really care about this. There's little things like that take you out of the experience.
When we watched the Batman in the theaters, I didn't snap out of it. I know you did because you had to pee, but
that was the only reason why.
But like I felt like I was like I was in it. Like I'm watching this happen.
But dude, you think like I think of my favorite movies, and I'm like I think of something like Pulp Fiction, and I'm like it's separate stories, whatever, but you're so locked into what's happening because it's built up so well, and you don't know what's going on. And then one of my other favorite movies is Moneyball. The whole story and just seeing the whole process behind the scenes thing of just running a baseball team is so interesting to me. Maybe it's not for everybody, but just like everybody has movies like that. It's like you're looking at the story, but you're so locked into the story. It's just like you don't want to stray away from it.
Yeah.
That's missing out of movies today is hey, we want to tell an immersive, in-depth, engaging story without cracking one-liners all the time. You can make funny jokes in movies like that. You don't
dude, Moneyball has some really funny moments in it.
Exactly.
But they don't distract. They don't take away.
They feel
fit
real.
It in perfectly.
It's like when Brad Pitt says, then there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's us. It feels real. Yeah. It's funny, but it feels real, But it's just like, I don't know.
I'm wondering if this might have to do with some of it as well, is that we have this new age generation, which kind of sucks to think about, of actors. Like the people we grew up watching, they're done. They've moved on. Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Brad Pitt, George Clooney. These guys, like, they're getting older. They can't be in every movie. Like, what about like when Matt Damon was in every movie, or Brad Pitt was in every movie, or Leonardo DiCaprio was in every movie. Like, right. And the thing that was so good about him, unlike Chris Pratt, I'm gonna keep ragging on Chris Pratt because I'm not a big fan of Chris Pratt.
See, and here's the thing. Here's the thing that gets me about Chris Pratt is you finish. Sorry,
is that they were genuinely incredible actors.
Yeah,
that could fill these different roles.
And there's a lot of other
like
actors
different
we're not mentioning
people.
Either.
And like, yeah, obviously there's a lot. Like, there's a lot.
You can go Adam Sandler. You can go Kevin James. If
Adam
you want to go comedy route.
Adam Sandler felt like the same person. Kevin James felt like the same person in a lot of movies.
Well,
but it worked because they were on the same type of movies.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Childhood actors.
But like Chris Pratt plays Chris Pratt and everything. And it works out really well in Parks and Rec and in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what I was about to talk about. Is I think he falls under the role. He falls okay. Now as we're talking about this, I'm kind of understanding. I think we have actors casted in the wrong roles, or they're casted in roles that don't fit them. Like you just talked about, Chris Pratt was fantastic as Star-Lord. Chris Pratt was fantastic in Parks and Rec. I don't know a ton of new age actors, but you get what I'm saying.
Even then, like just think about like the movie people were putting in movies all the time. The Rock doesn't need to be in 3 movies a year where he plays The Rock.
Yeah,
it's not needed.
He's just and there's some cases I think of some good modern actors. I like Ryan Reynolds a lot. Outside of his Deadpool one, he plays Ryan Reynolds, but he also plays it's an Adam Sandler.
It plays into it.
He plays into it well, and it works. I've seen. I forget what movie I'm thinking of. It's a smaller movie, but he plays other than Deadpool, which is I would say like his main role. He plays everything else really well.
Yeah. I mean, there's some really good ones. Like Robert Pattinson grew on me so much.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh, this dude, he's just the.
I wasn't sold on him as Batman until I saw the Batman. They're like, okay, he is Batman.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's just the teenager. You're like, oh, he was in Harry Potter. He did all the Twilight movies, and then he starts coming out, completely changes his acting role, and like especially with something like the movie Good Time. Again, this is not a blockbuster movie, but we get to see the highlights and the aspects of him as an actor that really shine and push through. And then that carries over into, the Batman, where he's able to show off different acting perspectives. And this is the thing I want to rag on with him too as well, is that he's so good with his voice, because he's a British dude, but he'll come on, he'll play thick New York accent dude, thick just like average American accent dude, Irish accent dude. Like he really will come through and do all of it. Timothy Chalamet, that's another guy. He's growing on me. He's in everything, dude. Like he can go and do Dune and then also come over and play Wonka. Like obviously that's a remake, but like
it's an insane range.
It's aside from the movie, which the movie was fun, but it was kind of cash grab Hollywood thing. But it showed his range that he could act and fill all these different roles, and I think he's going to be, probably one of the next greats.
Yeah. I think that has a large part to do with it. It's just actors just don't fit into their roles, and that could be an actor thing, that could be a director thing, it could be a bit of both. It probably is a bit of both more than anything else, but I think it does contribute to it more and less. But I just think I don't know. I think a lot of it is just original ideas. I also think some of it is just TV shows are just kind of better than movies now. Like they can just tell better stories, and they just usually do tell better stories.
I think they both serve their own aspects.
They definitely do, but I don't know. I can definitely. Well, I don't know. I could probably think of more movies. I don't know. It's a tough call, but I think TV shows.
This is also we're talking modern. So what modern nowadays TV shows are the ones that are sticking out more than movies? It's the old ones.
It's the old ones. It's the Sopranos. It's Breaking Bad. It's
obviously Penguin was really good, but
Penguin was really good. But then it's also okay.
But that also wasn't its own thing. That was just a mini series extension.
We also have we have Better Call Saul. It's very much its own thing, but it's still attached to the Breaking Bad lore. I don't know. Maybe it's just a little bit of me thing, but it's I just see so much more creativity, I feel out of shows, and they're willing to experiment more. But I've also seen a lot of TV shows that I just see ads for them. I'm just it just looks like the most cookie cutter thing. And
where I see that the most, dude, is staying in adult animation.
Oh, dude.
There's so
Yeah,
many just random adult animated shows out there that just like
it's
they
bad.
don't look good.
They
And they like run
they
for like 1 or 2 seasons, then
they're not
disappear off
funny.
the
They're not
face of the planet.
creative. Look, man, I'm gonna stand by this forever. I think South Park is the best adult animated show out there, and it's
And I
like
think The
not
Simpsons
close.
is.
Again, I could see that. I like The Simpsons has the legacy, so does South Park. But like South Park has the jokes. Yes, it has the offensive humor, like we talked about earlier. But like it also has
It has some heart.
action. It has heart. It has good characters, and you actually care about the characters. Whereas Family Guy, all the characters are just terrible to each other, so you don't like them at all.
And they're just dumb.
And they're just dumb. That's the joke, is they're dumb. And
which can be funny for a couple episodes, but like I'm not sitting down watching.
No, but I'll sit down and watch. I'll sit down and watch the entirety of the Black Friday trilogy for South Park, and I'm gonna laugh because it's creative humor and it's awesome.
Yeah,
but you know, I think it bleeds over to it for sure.
I think it's just I don't know if some of it has to do with the writer's strike, and like I really don't know where everything fell off, because like if I could pinpoint a time where movies stopped really just grabbing my interest, it was like probably like 2016 is like I feel like a big drop off.
I would say I look at it in a Marvel perspective, because like 2016 to like 2016 like 2019 ish was like Marvel was like really huge at that point. That was filmmaking. Marvel was like on top of the world at that point.
Yeah, they ran
very big, and I think of it as like, okay, year. Yeah, movie a year. But like you think about, like, I think some of the influence that Marvel had on the film industry was both bad and good. Like they did a lot of bad things, like we talked about the humor, but you also have movies that
created movie stars with it as well.
Yeah,
they created a lot of these new big actors.
I mean, everybody knows the story of Robert Downey Jr. Everybody knows the story of Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. Tom Holland.
Yeah.
There's really just so many people that were able to get a big boost in their career, whether it was an uplift they needed or a start they needed.
But it's also like, how many Marvel actors on their own are just really good actors? Yeah. You know, it's just like, I mean, you could probably name a couple, and I'd probably say, yeah. I can't really think of any off the top of my head, to be honest. But
why do you think Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU?
I forgot about that. Again, it's what we're talking about. It's a cash grab. It's just, oh, hey guys, look, he's back. Robert Downey Jr.'s back.
He wasn't making money outside of it. He wasn't. No. He was getting small roles in smaller movies, and it's like, all right, I'm coming back to the big leagues.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. Like, and that's the thing. It's like there's some Marvel movies that just have really good actors in it, or really good acting in it. Sorry, you know, like I think Thor Ragnarok has really great acting in it. I think Guardians 1. I think all the Guardians movies have really good acting in it. I mean, like you can go throughout, you know, and pinpoint, you know, like I think these actors are good. I think these actors are good. You know, so on and so forth. But it's just like, where does it go after that? And we go to a point with Marvel after Endgame. It's a minefield. It's just bad. It's just bad.
It's just bland. Teasing characters now. It's like, this person's coming later on. Again, I can't. We could keep going on the Marvel tangent for so long.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I've been so out of Marvel since. I mean, I haven't paid attention. When I went to watch Guardians 3, I watched it because I wanted to watch the end of the Guardians series, not because I cared about what was happening next in the MCU. I just wanted to see the end of the Guardians.
Which, respect to the MCU for not forcing a bunch of random MCU stuff into that movie and just letting it be its own thing.
I know, and because I think that's one of my favorite Marvel movies. It's definitely my top 3. It's a fantastic Marvel movie, and you know they let it be its own thing, and that just shows that sequel movies can be good. They had an idea, they had a vision, they altered the plot and everything like that, and I don't know. It just sucks. I mean, because it's just like we live in a time where it's like, what movies are coming out, and it's just rehash this new idea that's going to suck because it has a bunch of actors that don't mix together. Oh, this movie looks kind of good. Oh, it's got terrible reviews. So we just live in a world like that with movies now. It just sucks. There's no creativity out of Hollywood.
Yeah.
You'll get your rare examples like we talked about before, like Bullet Train, and your good sequel movies like Top Gun. You know, I'm sure there's other ones like that too. You know, Dune 2, like I said. earlier in the podcast, is one that a lot of people liked. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah, man. I don't know. All I know is that we need comedy movies again. We need comedy movie heroes that can go on and make, like 5 movies in 10 years that are really funny.
I want a good, like, not MCU. I want a good, like, branch of superhero movies that are, like, separate, like the Batman. I want something like the Batman where it's like its own separate thing. And the only thing that it's setting up
I just blew out my candle.
Yeah, I saw that. The only thing it's setting up is future movies in the series, not future franchise of movies, just future movies within the series, like the Batman did. I want to see stuff like that.
Where it's it's its own series. It's not trying to fit into like a Justice League thing. It's like, this is just Batman.
And I just want to see more creative, like, action movies, or like, I would love to see more like sports movies that are like something like Moneyball. I know there's documentaries for that, so obviously I can just go watch a documentary. But like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
it's a tough weight to bear.
I will say this. Movies I'm looking forward to, and I will go see, or at least one of them. I probably only see one. Is Gladiator 2. I'm hoping it's a Top Gun Maverick type situation where they took an old thing and revised it, did the old one justice, and made a new good storyline. It'll probably end up being a cash grab, and I'll probably be ranting about it on here in a couple weeks.
How it goes.
We'll find out. But yeah, I mean, there's some movies coming out. We'll keep an eye out. But
yeah, I mean,
if we can get some new good actors that are consistent, and we can get some good writers and directors putting out movies, and we can get some new ideas.
There's promising sequels, which I am excited about. Which I don't know. I mean, like, I think the movie I'm probably the most most recent looking forward to is probably going to be Sonic 3. But other than that, I can't really think of much. I mean, obviously you've got like things like the Batman 2. What was the other thing I was going to think of? I don't know. But like things like that are like going to come out, but they're not announced yet. So
yeah. So just keep an eye out. Let us know what you think. What do you think the best generation of movies is? Where do you think movies fell off? Do you think movies fell off? Or do you think that maybe we are just...
Yeah, maybe we're wrong.
Maybe we're crazy. I don't think we are. But let us know what you think.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's halfway through the month. So better start saving up that money, because know what happens at the end of the month?
The rent monster.
The rent monster's going to come and collect the rent.
The rent monster. Rent monster. He's trying to get